Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We've got a decently sized haul this week, so let's get started. Kicking things off, we've got XMen Red, number 6. Where we left off, the hour of Uranos passed, and Araco was practically laid waste. However, while it did appear that Magneto had been killed by Uranos, he is using his mutant power to keep his blood flowing. So we begin with the field recording of a transcript of field reporting of Dr. Marshall. Apparently, he was studying the effects of the terraforming on Mars, or on Araco, and then the attack occurred, and so, but he's been doing what he can to defend a couple of children from Uranos' armory, but. Storm, he tells the kids at one point that yes, he guesses that today he is of Morocco, and Storm shows up and said, "Yep, you are. You have a place in the Broken Land today and forever." And one of the Storm and a couple members of the Great Ring. Latuka of the Stars and Silbanar of the Depths take out one of Uranos' various war machines. Nova's doing what he can to stop them as well. I kind of get the feeling that they're hinting that Nova's kind of having flashbacks to the Annihilation Wave as he keeps repeating himself. It's all up to him. But a lot of the issue is catching up with various cast members. Sword Station 2 has been damaged, and WizKid and Cable are trying to get back online. Brand is being resurrected in on Krakoa. But yeah, Magneto is trying to keep himself upright, basically. And so we also learn that there, much like the Quiet Council of Krakoa, the Great Ring does have four four sets of 3 seats. The other 3, the seats of dawn, day, and dusk. There's also the seats of night. No Omega has ever served on the night seats, and none ever will. During the siege years, the night seats served as spies and secret warriors, bringing information to the Great Ring of the demon hordes. However, Genesis grew disdainful of war waged in shadows by those she saw as weak. And so the night seats became advisors only, their truth is forgotten. In the Proud years, the Night Seats backed Idol the Ancestor, who saw all futures and made predictions of doom and disaster. Which led to the dissolution of the Night Seats and orders Serrano, blinking them from existence. Currently, the holders of the Night Seats are Sizia of the Smoke, the Seat of Nowhere, He Who Has No Name, or the Fisherman King, the Seat of Nothing, and Roberto da Costa, the Seat of Nobody. And so, the various war machines of Uranus are dealt with by Arakko. And the new Great Ring is probably going to have some new thoughts when it comes to Arakko, when all is said and done. XMen Red continues to be good, just thoroughly good. I to be fair, when the Great Ring was introduced, it seemed like there would definitely be a fourth group of seats, but yeah. Moving on to our next book, we've got AXE Judgment Day number 4. Where we left off, oh yeah, an attempt was made to stop the Celestial, but the Celestial realized it and basically showed how it would play out in everyone's minds, and started judging. Hell, judging before that. We open. Cap is trying to calm down protesters at the treehouse, but it's not going well. Star Fox is explaining his plan to the Avengers and the Eternals at Avengers Mountain, and Sinister as well. We have little bits of others doing what they can to. Luke Cage trying to guarantee people. Thor dealing with one of the Hex. Star Fox meeting with Sebastian Shaw and Harry Leland of the Hellfire Club. Miss Marvel also trying to help. We also get the judgment of even Katrina. She fails. As well as the judgment of Xavier. He fails. Eros also meets with Black Panther. Brandy Selby, the Star Brand, is judged. Passes. Daniela, another one of the humans introduced in the second issue, passes. Doctor Doom is simply told to admit that Reed Richards is smarter than he is. Doom, and he'll pass. Doom refuses and laughs in the Celestial's face, and passes. Daredevil is judged. When judged unworthy, he simply says, "I know." Miles Morales is judged worthy, is given a thumbs up, and Miles gives the Celestial thumbs up in return. Eros meets with addresses the UN in an attempt to fix things. Uranos is still trying to get Druid to fully release him. But the Unimind is released. With basically Druid in control, but at the very least, it looks like the psychics of Krakoa are brought in with the Eternals who stand against Druid, and they take control of the Unimind. And Uranos does manage to escape, and but then is in that Eros is voted Prime Eternal. However, Uranos, with one of his various devices, can control his bloodline, meaning that Eros being Prime Eternal means nothing if Uranos has that device to wield. Storm and Magneto show up to attack Uranos, and seemingly Magneto dies. Icarus is giving a thumbs up while Circe is giving a thumbs down. Eros makes a plea to the Celestial, who makes it, and the Celestial makes its decision for the Earth. Thumbs down. And all hell breaks loose. And that is where the issue ends. Okay. Well, that was, yeah. Let's see where the next couple issues go. Moving on to our next book, we've got Captain Marvel number 41. Where we left off, Captain Marvel had returned to Earth from her trials at the hands of the Mystic Council. However, Enchantress, who had brought her before the Council, had turned the young friend of Carol's into a dragon. And so Carol deals with the dragon, while also at the same time L'Oreal is trying to discern what's happened to her sister. But and so Binary goes back to her normal form. Big reunion sequence. Jess tackle hugs Carol. Binary and L'Oreal tackle hug Carol. Lots of tackle hugs. Apparently, while running to battle, Jess spies Hazmat, enjoying Taco Tuesday, and says, "Hey, suit up and let's go." But Carol defeats the dragon by giving up, and it reverts into Kit, her young friend. Wanda makes a very spirited defense to the council of Carol, and in the end, they do see things her way. Carol apologizes to Amora, and also shows her memory of Amora's death in the future timeline. Before Amora leaves. Binary decides she's going to basically kind of go off into space and find herself. Carol gives her the emergency beacon that she gave to L'Oreal. You know, kind of, hey, if you need me, hit this and I'll come running. L'Oreal also thinks she needs a new one now. So, but all's well that ends well. That is the end of the issue, as well as the current arc. Our next issue will actually be a Judgment Day tie-in. So I enjoyed this arc. You know, I hope that the binary form, offshoot, whatever, returns, because that made for a fun dynamic, I thought. And you know, it was kind of nice to see Carol's binary form again, because it's not too commonly utilized. Moving on to our next book, we've got Iron Man number 23. Where we left off, Iron Man was trying to take down a black market high-tech arms cartel known as Source Control, who had, among other things, the Mandarin's rings. And so, Tony's frontman, Carl Walker, is playing the high roller that Tony needs him to be. But he's moving up further up the source code, the source control ladder. But the person he's buying his batch of time blasters from thinks something's up and uses the time blaster on Carl, displacing him to an unknown point in time. Iron Man shows up, takes them down, and gets the weaponry. Next few days, Tony and Rhodey are planning out their next move, trying to make arrangements for another sale, and but this time they go for the bull, with Tony being the buyer. We find out that behind Source Control is none other than Spy Master. And, you know, he's willing to buy the Mandarin rings for, $3 billion. And Spy Master and his goons walk. Sounds like a good deal, but turns out the rings are fake. Then, Force shows up. He was displaced to a week previously, where he and the Spy Master wants not just the money, but also Tony and Rhodey's armors. Also, it also turns out that the rings are have already been sold to the Cobalt Man, and that is where the issue ends. I'm digging this Tony versus the high-tech weaponry black market arc. Very much so. So yeah, as I recall, there's 2 issues left for this current run of Iron Man. I think number 25 is supposed to be the final issue, which will also be it'll be Legacy number 650. So. Moving on to our next book, we've got Savage Avengers number 5. So where we left off, it seemed as though Thulsa Doom had killed Conan to summon Set. And so the Savage Avengers, well, they take issue with this, and the Deathlock that has been following them has discovered that he was Miles Morales before his death, and the personality of Miles Morales is beginning to assert itself over the Deathlock programming, and so he's opted to work with the Savage Avengers. He uses his gamma battery to boost up Weapon H. Dagger and Flash Thompson share a kiss, much to which of course does kind of piss Cloak off a little. Um, but Black Knight becomes a Blood Wraith. Dagger manages to prevent to bring Conan back from the just dead. And when Set shows up in the material world, one of the first things it does is eat Thulsa Doom. But Deathlock opens a portal to send Set back through, but to keep the portal open long enough, Conan has to stay in the Hyborian Age, where he will eventually become a father and a king. And as a king, the Avengers A is part of his signet, or is part of his symbol, signet, whatever. The Savage Avengers, however, end up being thrust through time, and when they come out, they are promptly attacked by Jake Gallows, the Punisher of the year 2099. And that is where the issue ends. So there's a reason for... I've been saying for a while that a lot of the first Savage Avengers series felt like just kind of, hey, let's see how Conan interacts with this Marvel hero, and that one, and have on some villains too. But sadly, that was not a concept that could be continued, because as Marvel lost the license, and so as I understand it, the license agreement basically said that they could continue to use Conan in other books, but they could no longer publish books focusing on Conan. So the first arc of the new Savage Avengers is basically set up the idea of a Savage Avengers lineup without Conan. So sort of the purpose, but anyway, I am looking forward to see where this next arc goes. As I've stated throughout the 2099 Exodus stuff, I've always been a big fan of the 2099 books. So, and in fact, I think I know I had the first issue of Punisher 2099. And I had a lot of it was the subsequent issues up to a point. So I honestly found his origin for the 2099 heroes to be most interesting, because I felt like it had the closest link to the modern Marvel universe, as the whole thing is that he found one of Frank Castle's war journals. After Jake's family was killed, Jake found one of Frank Castle's war journals and said, hey, here's a thought. Maybe it wasn't the best idea, but yeah. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.